Grow what you eat. I'm Naima Latif with today's 10-minute tip for how to grow your own food. Now this year we're going to be growing some kale greens, some mustard greens, and some collard greens. But today we want to take a look at some greens that are already growing, and you can learn how to cook them and make some delicious dishes. But you have to be able to recognize them. Now we've talked about burdock greens before, and they're growing plentifully. Look at these great big burdock leaves. We're going to show you how to cook up some burdock today and to season it so that it tastes good, and to even make another dish from those burdock leaves, some veggie burdock burgers. So let's take a look at how to make some wonderful food from what's already growing for absolutely free right in your own yard. Now that we've picked the burdock leaves, we got to make sure they're washed off thoroughly. We're going to wash them off and let them soak a while. We even add a little salt to the water they're soaking in. That helps cleanse them. And then we're going to take them through 3 sessions of boiling, because these big leaves, they're going to be kind of bitter. So we want to boil out the bitterness and add a few seasonings to the water. These are some really big burdock leaves. And now this is the first boil. We're going to boil them a couple of times, and on the second boil we'll add some apple cider vinegar to get rid of the bitterness. We may even add the apple cider vinegar to the third boil to really make sure we get rid of all the bitterness out of the burdock leaves. This is going to be the third boiling of our burdock greens. We have added, on the second boiling, some baking soda to take away the harshness of the taste. And now in this third boiling, we've added some apple cider vinegar, and we also added some seasonings, some salt, some red pepper, some onions, and some garlic. And so as it starts to boil, we'll be cooking this for the third time. And these are good and cooked after that. You can believe they're really soft greens here. And we'll let them cook for a while and marinate in the apple cider vinegar, and then we'll taste them. Some homegrown burdock greens. This recipe calls for some tofu and some eggs, and we're going to add a bit of onion and some seasoning. So now let's crack some eggs so we can stir them up in our nice mixture of, you can see, our burdock greens. So we're going to add 4 eggs. And this will help with the consistency. And then we'll also make sure that we look through the eggs thoroughly. We don't want any pieces of shell in there at all. Okay, gonna stir this up. Now right now, These burdock greens have been boiled 3 good times. So what we want to do, we're going to need to add some flavor to them, because the boiled burdock greens are no longer bitter, but now they might be a little bit bland, but still have somewhat of a burdock taste. So let's chop up some onions, and what we'll do, we'll chop up the onions and add it to the eggs. So when we pour in the egg mixture, everything is in it. Now, the good thing about having this mixture is that we get a chance to sort of sample it as we go. We're gonna have one patty at a time. We'll cook and make sure that our mixture of onions, eggs, and seasoning, even though we put some seasoning in the greens, we still want to make sure that the taste is pleasant and not bland or bitter. So we've got some onions and the eggs chopped up. Put this aside. Now we've also got tofu, and we're going to add a little bit of tofu to the egg batter mixture. So tofu is another thing that'll help with the consistency of the patties. I'm gonna cut it up in little squares here and add it to the egg batter mixture. Because once we make the patties, we want them to be nice and tight, see? There we go. All right, so we're adding our tofu and onions and eggs. So for our starchy addition, we're going to include some flowers. So here we are. Let us pour in our egg mixture. All right, and we're going to stir it up. Ooh, look at this. It's going to be interesting. So yes, we will stir this up and make our patties. Now this is always an interesting thing, because you don't really know what something's going to taste like once it's cooked. You really don't know. But we've got some interesting ingredients. And most certainly it's going to be quite unique we've added some eggs, some tofu, some onions, tomatoes, pepper, and salt. So now let's scoop up a bit to make our patty. Okay, let me scoop out a bit. Put it in the cornmeal to make a patty. Then we're going to put it in the skillet. All right, let's see how it does. So here they are in the skillet. 3 veggie patties cooking. We'll see how they turn out as we flip them over. Burdock veggie patties from Burdock, growing right out in the yard. Homemade. All right, flipping them over. Woo, let's see what it looks like. Wow, burgers, woohoo! And here it is, our experimental Burdock burger. Well, this is a veggie burger, homegrown from burdock leaves and all the ingredients that should make it taste pretty good. So we'll just add our lettuce and tomato and mayonnaise and see how it tastes. Here we are with our Burdock burger. So this is very experimental, but however it tastes, this is how it tastes. Well, I must say, it's not bad. You know, the interesting thing is, of course, you know, you add things to a burger like lettuce and tomato, but what I'm tasting, I am tasting ingredients, a little bit of the tofu and a little bit of the onion and of course the eggs. So, you know, all those things make it taste good. But the thing is to have vegetables that you're growing without you really having to do anything. Burdock leaves, you see how many we had there. So to be able to make, and we made quite a few burgers, to be able to make something that you can maybe even put in the freezer and save for a while, that saves a lot of money. And if you can make it taste good, it makes sense. So there you have it. We gave you an opportunity to see step by step how you go about creating a dish made from leaves growing right in your yard, burdock. And burdock grows very easily in the North American climate. So you probably have them growing for free, and you've probably been chopping them down, killing them, being annoyed because there's so many of them. But the fact of the matter is, these, as we've spoken of before, are nutritional plants. And we're going to show you several things that you can do with the burdock plant. But today, you can see how to enjoy a delicious burdock veggie burger. And you can also make some soups and other things. So next time, we'll give you a chance to develop some more recipes from the burdock leaf. I'm Naima Latif. Grow what you eat.